Hi guys, Red Pill Biker here, and just had a thought, and I want to share it with you, see if it resonates at all. And that thought is, give yourselves a fucking break. I didn't discover the manosphere and MGTOW and the various YouTube videos and books that are out there until I was pretty far advanced in my years. I was 57 or so. And when you get to that point where you start recognizing this stuff, you know as you go through your life that certain things just aren't right. That there's a discomfort there, but it really comes out of a lack of knowledge and ignorance. So let me kind of lay out a scenario here. Imagine you were walking down the street and you saw some 35, 40-year-old guy talking to a 15 or 18-year-old kid. And you looked at that 15 or 18-year-old kid and started quizzing him about life. And a teenager, is doing his best to answer the question. And the 35, 40-year-old man looks at him and says, "Man, you are just stupid. You don't know anything about life." Well, we might actually intervene and say, "Dude, he's just a kid. He doesn't have the experiences you have. He doesn't have the knowledge you have. He doesn't have the education you have. He doesn't have your background." I mean, that would be kind of a stupid thing to see a 40-year-old man chastising a teenager. Now imagine the guy's 55 or 60. Say he's closer to my age. And he's looking down at some 20-year-old kid, 25, maybe even early 30s. And he's telling that 20, 25, 30-year-old kid, "You know what? You're kind of stupid. You don't know anything. You don't have any knowledge of what you're talking about. You're grabbing straws from the air. You're listening to other people's thoughts and ideas, and you're thinking they're real. You have no living experience." Well, that too is something I might intervene on, because this old man's chastising a younger man for not knowing certain things that can only be learned through life. I've noticed on some of the sites, and I'll watch a video from different content creators, and some are better than others, and some got great production value. I know I don't, and probably never will. But I look at the comments below because I'm interested. This is my way of connecting with other men, although not knowing who they are. And I read their comments, and I see things like, "How could I have been so blind? I was so stupid. I should have seen coming." And we can sit out there, we can take all the red flags and wave them in front of people's faces, but if they don't have the wisdom and knowledge to even acknowledge that what we're doing, they can't take advantage of it. So I say all that to say this. How is it any different? And I am as guilty of this, not as much now, but initially, a few years back, I'm as guilty of this as anyone. But when I look back at my 32-year-old self, that's the age I got married at, and maybe I should have known better, and I probably was a little bit more ignorant than other men my age. But as I look back, I realize I chastise that guy. I'm like, how could you have made these stupid mistakes? How could you have gotten involved in this relationship? How could you have sacrificed so much and gotten so little out of the deal? How were you this stupid? And I finally came to the conclusion, I wasn't stupid. I was ignorant. I hadn't been taught any of this stuff. I didn't know it even existed out there. I went by the programming that was given to me. And I tried to play the role that I thought had been lined out for me. That's what a good guy does, right? Do as you're told. There is no way that poor, pathetic 32-year-old man could even come close to comprehending what this old 62-year-old man knows. I no longer desire to go in and beat up my past self, because I'm not beating him up. I'm beating myself up, as if I should have known what I know now 30 years ago. That is absolutely as silly as if I'd go up to a man who's not me and chastise him for not knowing what I know. What we have and what we're gaining is wisdom. They're lessons, and some lessons come at a price that's hard to pay. Some of them come at a very high price. Nothing is for free, guys, and that includes wisdom, that includes knowledge, that includes rising ourselves out of the pit of ignorance that we found ourselves in. So this video is all about this. I've decided I'm giving myself a fucking break because I was ignorant. I wasn't malicious. I wasn't stupid. I just didn't know what I didn't know. And so I'm going to ask you guys, the few that are looking at this, to do the same thing. Give yourself a fucking break. You could not have known what you know now. You would not know now what you have in your head without having gone through it. So, back off. Leave your younger self alone. He only did what he thought was right. Maybe it was stupid. I know it was for me. But that stupidity came out of ignorance. The things that caused me shame and discomfort were always done from ignorance and not from malice, not from ill intent, not from some kind of bizarre desire to destroy my own life. That's not why I did it. I did it because I thought at the time it was the right thing to do. And I did it because at the time it seemed the best course of action. Was I wrong? Yeah. Would I go back if I could and change it? Yeah. Can I go back and change it? Not a chance. Guys, life is hard. Don't make it any harder than it needs to be. Keep it real, guys.